Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of N Steel Boxing. I'm your host, Guy McKinnon. Today, we're going to go over the upset defeat of Liam Paro at the hands of Richardson Hitchins, the man with two last names. This fight was so reminiscent to me. When I was thinking beforehand, I'm like, wow, this to me is like the Puerto Ortiz again. We have that shorter fighter coming forward, very aggressive, Puerto, the very slick boxer. To me, I was like, Liam Paro, that's Ortiz. And then secondly to that, I'm like, Richardson Hitchins is Puerto. How's it going to pan out? Hitchins' last fight looked like he was struggling with a bit of pressure. And then essentially the last fight that we've seen with Liam Paro, he had great power and all this stuff. Fantastic stuff. And I'm like, wow, he didn't deal with the pressure very well. And essentially what's going to happen, I thought it was going to be Liam Paro going to come in here, put too much pressure on, outwork the man, put trouble, give him trouble. And he was going to crack under pressure. I was speaking earlier with Farid Samid on the podcast here, and he knows him actually personally, trains him in Miami. And he was saying, listen, if he keeps it long, it's going to be a big, big drama. But he likes to come on the inside. Says he had a mental block. But Liam Paro likes to fight on the inside and potentially he's going to cause some big dramas. Again, he said whoever's going to implement their fight plan, which is a lot of boxing, right? Whoever gets to implement their fight plan. But he thought maybe Paro might have been able to snatch this. Well, it was quite the opposite that we've seen here. Looks like he's broken that mental block, Hitchins, and he kept it long. Paro, when he came into the fight, he looked in great shape. And he was fighting with a confidence that I haven't seen from him before. Yes, he was always a confident fighter, always an aggressive fighter, coming forward, causing dramas to all their fighters, a lot of pressure. However, in this fight, something different. The champion now, the man, Hitchins, the challenger, coming forward. He wanted to keep it long. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be very interesting. The first round, straight away, you could see that very active Paro front hand, very reminiscent of Usyk or Lomachenko, giving those front hand options, southpaw as well. And he was outworking the man. He's outworking Hitchins, taking to the body, a couple of right hands. To me, I'm like, Hitchins is a smart boxer, should I say. Both men have high ring IQs. And he was just downloading information, all right? He's looking for that counter shot. Essentially, the second round, Richardson looked like he started downloading some more information. He was obviously the taller fighter as well. He had a 74-inch reach advantage over here. And he was keeping it long. But Paro, to me, and still to this day, he has a better feet. Very quick. A lot of options. Very fit. Obviously came in so ready for this fight. He was taken to the body. A couple of good shots up to the head. And I'm like, this is great. Round two, Richardson. This is where it sort of started. Richardson started timing that right hand, all right, just a little bit against that incoming Paro. However, he needed to be busier, and we knew that because he was getting outworked by Paro. Paro was throwing more punches, swapping his options, going from the body up to the head, and he was outworking him. He was outpointing him. Round three, I thought Paro was working out Hitchins a little bit more. They had a bit of a footwork tangle up, but this is also that southpaw orthodox, tangle up that they do have here, with their lead feet getting caught on each other. But he did catch him with the right hand, did stumble. I don't think he was stunned. I think it was more of a footwork thing, but that just goes to show that Paro had that better footwork. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. This could continue. All right. Hitchins, he was these first rounds, 1, 2, 3, and 4, he was a bit gun shy, I think. Either he was downloading information or he was a bit gun shy because Paro was successfully countering. He was punching over that jab and he was being very successful with it. And Hitchins was like, I'm a bit worried now. I don't want to start letting my hands go because potentially I'm going to get countered. And we know Paro has power. We know he has that. However, this is a fight. Can be broken into two parts. Rounds 1 to 5 and 5 to 12. Because as soon as Hitchins went back to his corner, they're like, man, you've got to be busier. Pick up the pace. You will not win this fight if you do not outpace this man. And I tell you what, from 5 to 12, we saw a masterclass. We saw a masterclass from Hitchins. That jab was keeping Paro at bay, should I say. And that right hand started finding right down the pipe. That right hand is also so good against someone that's southpaw. Just like the southpaw's lead hand is very good against the orthodox. But I tell you what, he used that reach advantage. He didn't get suckered to coming on the inside. I was worried. I'm like, okay, he's picking up the pace. Round 5 was just quite dominant for him. All right, he picked up the pace. And when I say pick up the pace, but maybe 20%. 20%, not 100%, not 50%. Just picked up the pace a bit more and just evened it. But he was finding more successful shots. He was finding that right hand down the pipe. Now, the man doesn't have knockout power, like a one-punch Deontay Wilder-esque knockout power. However, he's a very, very slick boxer. And he kept finding that right hand as Paro was trying to close the distance. And to be honest, I was surprised that this would happen. If Hitchins picked up the pace too much, I feel like it would have given him an opportunity, or given Paro the opportunity to counter more. But I think he found that sweet spot where he picked it up perhaps 20%, where it wasn't leaving him open so much for counters, but it was giving him enough action, should I say, for the judges to say it. Oh, he's landing those right hands down the middle. And that's pretty much how rounds 5 to 12 went. Paro couldn't close the distance. Paro couldn't find the power. Maybe I would like to see some more body work from him, but Hitchins was keeping it long, using that reach advantage. And like Farid Samid said, if he didn't fight on the inside, it's game over. They call him Africa, he said. That's his nickname in the gym, apparently. And he said he's such a good outside boxer, but if he came on the inside, it was game over. Because that's Liam Paro's land. He's a hard-hitting puncher, body shots and everything, but he just couldn't quite get the timing right and couldn't figure that out. And it's so hard when you have such a elite boxer like that to break on the inside. You need that one shot. And like I said, if you pick up your pace too much, Hitchins picked up his pace too much, you'd leave him opportunities to get countered. But I just found that sweet spot, that Goldilocks spot. One thing that I found very peculiar as well, the scorecards here, we had 116 to 112 for Hitchins. However, someone did have 111 to 117 for Paro, which I'm all about the Aussies, all right? I'll definitely support them. However, I want to be more objective and be a bit more universal, and I'm a boxing fan, full stop. All I want is fair referees and fair judges. That's what I want. Someone saw that very differently. Obviously, they like the aggressive style from Paro. However, I can't see that score. I can't see someone saying from round 5 to 12 he won so many rounds. In reality, I think it was a shutout from round 5. So that was peculiar to me. And obviously like the aggressive style, but I'm not sure. Comment below if you think that was accurate and if you think there were fair scorecards, because I think that's a bit funny to me. And definitely tell me how you think the fight would go with a rematch, because I would love to know. Congratulations to Richard Hitchins. What are we going to see next from Paro? There's a possibility for a rematch. Maybe I'd like to see something like that in Australia. However, I think what we will see here is an Australian showdown between Paro and George Kambosos. I feel like that's something that's going to come in the very, very near future, and that would be a really, really good one for everyone to see, I think. That'd be fantastic. Again, Paro's career is not over. He is definitely going to be back. He's going to make some adjustments, and he's a high-level fighter. He's a high-level, world-class fighter, not just domestic. I want you to comment below and tell me how the Paro-Kambosos fight's going to go, and whether it's going to be in Melbourne, Brisbane, or Sydney. Until next time, I'm Guy McKinnon, and this is And Still Boxing.
Thank you for listening. If you liked this episode,